Hey, what's up guys? Man, Antonelli here. I received a question earlier today from a 14-year-old player, and he said that his coach told him that his back foot needs to be off the ground when he makes contact, and he's asking if that's true, and if so, how can he do that? So, this is true. If you stop the video of a major league hitter or a successful hitter at contact, most guys are going to be on their toe, and for a split second during their swing, they'll actually be off the ground. Now, some guys did this more than others. Guys like Frank Thomas comes to mind. If you think back a little ways, his foot used to come way off the ground. Roberto Clemente, if you have any of his film, his foot came way off the ground. And guys today, it's not so drastic. It's not a foot off the ground or anything, but if you slow down the video and you watch it all the way through, their foot comes off the ground a little bit, and if it doesn't come off noticeably, they're at least on their toe. And basically all this means is that they're transferring their weight off of their back leg to their front leg. So their back leg is non-weight bearing, it's off the ground. That's because they're transferring their weight. That's very important. So you don't want to hit and think, pick your foot off the ground. Your foot will come off the ground naturally if you're transferring your weight properly. Don't try to make it come off the ground. So how do we transfer our weight properly? Well, real quick, there's two ways that you'll see it happen. You'll see the correct way where they transfer it properly. The incorrect way would be, you've probably heard it, a lot of Little League coaches will use it. They'll say squish the bug. And when you see guys that really squish the bug, or guys that don't transfer their weight, a lot of their weight, probably 80% of their weight stays on their backside, and they just turn their back foot, and you'll see that their heel, if you watch the heel of their cleat, will just kind of spin instead of transferring the weight off of it and getting up on the toe. Now the question is, how do you teach yourself to get your weight off the backside? The easiest way I think will help you do it is when you get into your load or when you go to hit incorrectly, the way that a lot of guys still do it and are still taught, but it's incorrect, is to take your stride and to keep all your weight back and now to pivot. That's the way a lot of kids will do it. That's where a lot of kids are taught, but that's incorrect. If your stride foot lands, all your weight is back, and all you're going to do is pivot, your weight's never going to get into your front side, into your front leg. It's going to be like an anchor on the back side, and all you're going to see is a squish the bug action. Your weight's going to stay backwards. You're not going to transfer anything into the ball. You probably won't hit with a lot of power. You're going to pull a lot of balls because when all that weight's back there and you're rotating, you're going to get really spinny. Your hands are going to get outside and then cut across, and you're going to pull a lot of balls. That's one of the main problems I see with a lot of young players, is not transferring their weight, keeping all their weight back, and it leads to tons of problems. The way you want to fix this is when you take your stride or your positive move, you want to think about driving off your back foot and allowing the weight to get off your back leg and get into your front leg. When you take your stride and you land, you should be in a good athletic position, but the weight should be distributed pretty evenly. There shouldn't be a lot more weight on the back leg than there is on the front leg. This is one of the biggest misconceptions of hitting, and guys get confused with this. If you watch major league players hit, they don't keep all their weight back. They transfer their weight. When you talk to major league hitting coaches, professional hitting coaches, that's a big topic. They talk about getting the weight off the backside, not just staying back and spinning. When you go down to younger levels, they don't talk about that very much. So take your stride. When you land, you should be in an athletic position. Your weight should no longer be all on your back leg. It should be pretty evenly distributed, and now you're able to swing. If you do that correctly, well, then your back foot's going to come off the ground. If there's too much weight on your back leg, you're just going to spin again. So I hope this answers your question. This topic is confusing because there's a lot of information out there that I would say is not correct, and it'd be a lot easier for me to show you, but because we're on the computer, it makes it a little more difficult. If you have any more questions, let me know. I want to try to do my best to explain the idea of weight transfer and not squishing the bug and staying back as much as I can so you understand what I'm talking about. So thanks for your question. Hope this helps, and good luck. We'll talk to you later.